Should we start now?
Yes, Prabhuji, I think we can start.
Okay.
We can start with prayers and then.
Yeah. So I was looking for devotees. Jai Govind Prabhu, you can go again this week. Sure. You can chant Guru Maharaj's Pranam Mantra and Prabhupada's Pranam Mantra. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Ma Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Tinamane Prabhupada Dasya Sahityam Yapakasya Vatiryasha Prachran Kritavan Sadhu Bhagavad Pada Te Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachardane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashacha Deshitarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji. So Jagannath, we will quickly do our quick recap from last chapter. I will share my screen. I'll put it in the chat. So just like we did last time, for those devotees who were not here for the first time, this is basically a quick recap that we'll do. It's an online tool, so you can go to that link that I just posted in the chat. We'll have quickly 5 questions that we'll go through just to review and revise what we learned in the chapter from New York to India. So you will have basically 15 seconds to answer the question. It'll just be a fun way for us to review our learnings about Guru Maharaj. So if you are, let me share my screen as well. Yep, so this is our transcendental trivia for number 2 for the second chapter that we read. So it will ask you for your name as well there. Interview name. Okay, I think we have almost 10 odd. So we'll start as people get to join. You can click on that link and join, or if you are using your phone, you can go to that menti.com and enter that code that I have in the chat. All right, so like I said, 5 questions. So we'll start with the first question. Haribol. All right, so first question here on your screen. In April 1971, Gopal Krishna Maharaj moved from Montreal to New York and worked with PepsiCo in the field of, which field did he work in? Was it manufacturing, information technology, market research, or distribution? Almost everybody got it right. Nice. Yeah, so this was in the very beginning of the chapter. So like Maharaj has mostly worked in market research across a lot of global companies, PepsiCo being one of the top one, but there is also mention about Clairol and one of the Jewish company that he worked in. But yeah, all of that Maharaj says helped him in his future as he was establishing the temple. All right, let's see who got it right and who got it right the fastest. Wonderful. Anshodas Prabhu Ki Jai. He's the fastest there. Nice. He's still at school and he's going to be an up-and-coming businessman for sure from Columbus. One of the most recent initiated disciples of Guru Maharaj. I'm sure, Prabhu. All right, second question. So in which year, so in GBC meeting, it was resolved officially that Maharaj's zone would include India and Southeast Asia. excluding Japan, Philippines, and Indonesia. So there's this particular very famous GBC meeting happened. It was also a Mayapur festival that happened that year and that month.
I seem to be having problems with when I click on it, it's not taking for some reason.
Oh, okay. Are you using your phone, Prabhuji? Or
No, I'm using my laptop.
okay. Okay.
Anyway,
Maybe
just go forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think that was right. And then, yeah. So this was in March 1975. This was the huge Mayapur festival also happened that year. And the big GBC meeting in which it was decided. Nice. So let's see here who got it right and who got it right the fastest. Okay, Ranshore Prabhu is in the lead and fastest there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rabindranath Prabhu, Premanjali Mataji, all close behind. Okay, question number 3. One of Prabhupada's early female disciples, she remembers Gopal Krishna Maharaj's book distribution efforts in Manhattan bus terminal. He used to go on Sankirtan after his, was it morning chanting, after his meetings, after his lunch, after his working hours. Jai Hari Bol. Everybody got it right this time. Very nice. Everybody has revised or was paying attention on this one for sure. And a lot of working professionals here. So yes, so this was reflected by Devi Shakti Mataji, Prabhupada's disciple. She recalls, when she used to go to the New York bus terminal, she would see a young gentleman there in business clothes, already speaking to people, talking about Prabhupada's books. And that was amazing. After 8-10 hours or more of grueling work and corporate life, going and distributing books. That was amazing. Great determination and dedication by Maharaj.
Am I not doing something right? Because I'm clicking on the answers, but nothing is happening.
I'll have to check, Prabhuji, but usually I think...
Don't worry, Prabhu. You no need. You already the stage for us.
Yeah, you already know all the answers.
No, not necessarily, but I want to. Competition is good.
This is transcendental competition. Yes. Maybe we'll take a look, Prabhu, after this again.
Don't waste too much time on it.
Yeah. So, Premanjali Mataji, congratulations.
Just keep going
to get it right this time. Ranshore Prabhu is still in the lead. All right. So next question. This will be a picture. It will show a picture actually on your device, wherever you're on laptop and phone. So, but the question will be on top of that. So, question number 4. There'll be a photo here. So, in which city is this picture of ISKCON Press from? Is it from Boston, Brooklyn, LA, or Delhi? Wow, this was a tough one, looks like. And the pictures are worth 1,000 words, but this is pretty well spread out here. But yeah, the right answer was Brooklyn. So this was the time when Maharaj actually came to Brooklyn in 1971. And that was the time when ISKCON Press actually moved from Boston to Brooklyn. And then eventually it became known as BBT. But yeah. Again, I think as Prabhuji was reciting the pranam prayers, Prabhupada Sahityam, Prakasha Vaktiricya, so Maharaj was fully, completely true to what we sing about Maharaj's glories. He was involved right from the beginning. All right, let's see here. We got it right and fastest. Vishnu Sakha Prabhu is the fastest this time. Chaitanya Bhava Prabhu and Premanjali Mataji in the lead. Very well. All right, last question coming up. This can still tilt the table, so give your best. All right, last question. Question number 5. So when Gopal Krishna Maharaj presented Srila Prabhupada with the first copies of which literature in Hindi language, and Prabhupada's pleasure was beyond words. Was it Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, or Chaitanya Bhagavat? Right, 6 people got it right. Yes. Yeah, it was. So this is, I think the very, very last paragraph in that chapter. But yeah, Maharaj, like I said, when we were reading this, he also started the BBT in India, and he started working on translating it into all the different dialects in India, and Hindi, of course, was the first one. But yeah, when the first copies of Srimad Bhagavatam were translated, Prabhupada was, his pleasure, like it said, was beyond words. Very nice. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. So this is the final score. Fastest was Chaitanya Bhaprabhu. Haribol, I think we are from Dallas. So, Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you, everybody, for your participation. Everybody, again, it was just a learning and review and recap, but in a fun, transcendental way. So thank you for your participation. All right. With that, I'll stop the sharing.
You have that PDF copy, Prabhu? We can share that.
That's a good question, actually.
I can send it to you. I had sent it to Gopal Hari Prabhu.
Okay, yeah, if you can send it, Prabhuji. I don't have it, actually, the PDF.
Okay.
Or if you can share it, either way is fine.
Meanwhile, if somebody has a book, they can start reading at least so that they can listen.
Yeah, and I think we have few devotees who are not read who did mention they'll be here today. So I'm just checking this.
And we're on page 132. If people have physical copy of a book, we're on page 132.
And I know there are a few devotees who may not have signed up on the sheet, but if you are on the call and you have not read so far, feel free to, if you have the book, yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I haven't read so far.
Yes.
I have the physical.
Subhasaka Prabhu? Yeah.
Excuse me. Hare Krishna, everyone. All glories to Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. So do we start from the last para of page 131 or?
No,
para?
132, page 132, the first paragraph.
Yeah. After Krishna's grace, I think that's where we left last time.
So, yes.
Okay. Thank
Correct.
you. Thank you, Prabhu. Kanvande was assisted by S.M. Jhauri, Associate Architect, S.V. Damle, Structural Engineer, Amar Singh Rana, Site Inspector, Ramesh Khosla, Interior Designer, and so many others. There were other early supporters too. So many people were required. First, as mentioned, was Chaturmasya Prabhu, Nagarji, and Mr. Gill. And there was also Ganapati Prabhu, Govardhan Prabhu, who was an accountant, all extremely important personalities in getting the project off the ground. Gnanagamya Prabhu was central to the museum project, which is appended to the temple. Gunar Nava Prabhu, who is a Prabhupada disciple, and Rochana Prabhu did all the deities of Prabhupada, including other dioramas utilizing animatronics. A Russian devotee called Dinantana Prabhu worked on it as well. Simultaneously, we had 17 Russian artists who were staying in Vrindavana. They did the temple paintings. Another exceptionally important personality was Vedavyasa Prabhu. He was initially in Bombay and, like Kanvinde, declined at first. To my pleasure and surprise, though, he eventually called one day and said, "I am landing at 11 p.m. Please have somebody pick me up." I went personally to pick him up. And in those days, we didn't have a temple car. From that day, Vedavyasa Prabhu came to Mangalarati, early morning services, every day because he was sick or out of station. He is a selected person. directly sent by Krishna. It's almost like Prabhupada, who came to this world for our overall mission. Similarly, Vedavyasa Prabhu was selected to come to Delhi for this mission. A project like this, of course, required monumental funding, and that was a concern from the very beginning. Many patrons and well-wishers came forward, and as the project developed, more and more gave their money, time, hard work, and their very lives to see this project fully emerge. So shall I continue, Prabhu, or shall I stop here?
Yeah, we'll stop. 3 paragraphs everybody reads. So
Thank you.
in
Thank you.
the chat, I saw Partha Priya Murari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
It takes a village.
Sorry, I sent it to you, so you should get it. I sent it on WhatsApp, but I can send email too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just get it up.
I can share it too, but since you're managing, it's okay. You can share it. I can share it with others.
Just share.
And this copy, unfortunately, we're not sharing with others. I was told not to freely distribute this soft copy. Delhi DOD says we all should get a physical copy.
I'll bring that, Prabhuji. It takes a village. Even the most spiritual of projects needs financial support. Indeed, the world is such that if temples are to be built and if spiritual teachings are to make their way into the general populace, then great souls must come forward and do what others will not. As Edmund Burke, well-known Anglo-Irish statesman and philosopher, famously said, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Thus, by Krishna's divine arrangement, in regard to the Delhi temple, many good men and women did much. The evil of allowing this temple to founders and remain unmanifest was not to be. People with warm hearts and devotional mentalists stepped forward. The Hinduja brothers are among the richest men in the world, philanthropists with interest in foundries, import-export concerns, trading, motor vehicles, banking, call centers, and healthcare. They are billionaires and, according to Forbes, the richest family in England. So reflects Gopal Krishna Maharaj. I got the Hindujas involved in this project. I had developed a good relationship with them, and they agreed to fund 25% of the cost of the project. The young brother, Ashok Hinduja, played a big role in the architecture. He is really quite a genius. So with the Hinduja's help, we assembled a team of professionals working on the project. The restaurant in front of the temple was Ashok Hinduja's brainchild. Kanvinde told me that the Hindujas were the smartest client he had met in his life. So we built the temple and opened it in 1998 on Ramanavami, the appearance day of Lord Rama. The Prime Minister came for the opening and gave a wonderful speech. We had a message from Tony Blair, who was the Prime Minister of England at that time. It was a very impressive opening. It took around about 4 to 5 years to construct the temple. Almost all of ISKCON leaders were there at the opening. Radhanath Swami, Sridhara Swami, Jayapataka Swami, and many others.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The first meeting with Hindujas remembers Mahamantra Das, a key devotee who worked on this temple from its very inception, took place at their Mumbai office where Maharaja showed the outline of the project to them. During one of his travels abroad, Maharaja also met the two brothers in London. They did not agree to help right away, but after a series of meetings with Maharaja, they were convinced. I accompanied Maharaja for that meeting. They greatly admired his patience and offered to help in whatever way he desired. In this way, Maharaja asked for their help to build the glory of India's project. Initially, when Maharaja first received commitment from the Hindujas, they had pledged 50 lakhs, roughly $5 million, which in those days, the 1980s, and especially in India, was a considerable amount of money. Still, to build a mammoth temple project in Delhi would require quite a bit more. Knowing this, SP Hinduja graciously proposed the following. I will give you 50 lakhs and additionally I will match whatever you collect. When reminded of this promise, Gopal Krishna Maharaj called Hinduja to point out that he would no doubt gather a vast amount of funds and needed to make sure that his wealthy friend would indeed guarantee to match it, as he said he would. Trikalagna Prabhu remembers the incident. Mr. S.P. Hinduja told Maharaja, if it is as you say, we are here this following weekend. My brothers will be there. Please come, bring this gentleman, your architect, and anyone else you would like. The architect Gopal Krishna Maharaj, Loknath Maharaj, Veda Vyasa Prabhu, and I ended up at the Hinduja's house on Juhu Beach in Mumbai. We had 3 days of conference there. They had their architects too. Every day we were meeting and their architects were shuffling. They got excited. A big guy wants competition with a big guy. The atmosphere was all very positive though. Veda Vyasa Prabhu was excited and the Hindujas were excited. Of course, we were all very excited. For me, particularly, it was something of a relief too, because it was new to it all and constantly worrying where all the money would come from. In the end, it all went according to plan, with the Hindujas financing it with huge amounts of money. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Leela Krishna Prabhu, message next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Now, so Gopal Krishna Maharaj adds that apart from financial contribution, the Hinduja family had conferred moral support on the entire project, even allowing themselves, despite their much demanded time, to become actively involved in the planning procedures and construction strategy. Sri Ashok Hinduja, the youngest of the Hinduja brother, thought that essentially a businessman in his day-to-day affairs is also a gifted architect and an expert in physical constructions, including the infrastructure. Consequently, he lent his personal talent in the completing this temple, and Mr. V.G. Gurnani, who tends to the Hinduja's vast constructions concerned throughout India, also become involved. The Hinduja was so much a part of the project that Gopal Krishna Maharaj even gave the temple a name to reflect their massive involvements, the ISKCON Hinduja Glories of India Vedic Culture Center. All this being said, the Hinduja were only part of the equations. There were many other involved as well, lending support not only to the glories of India, but to the well-known African proverbs. It takes a village to raise a child. The meaning of the course is that the major projects never known completions through the efforts of the single individual. And this is the true even when it's come to the proper rearing of a child. There is an extended family, teachers, loved one, close friends, and so on. All play a part. In the present context, the work of the Hinduja played a decisive role, no doubt, but there were many others. For example, Jayananda and Veda Vyasadas, the latter of whom was mentioned above. These two devotees were key in the development of the projects, particularly in the terms of raising funds. It could not have been accomplished without their input. Thank you, Prabhuji. That's it? Or in 3 paragraphs, right?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. So next, Srimati Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, I don't have the book, so I'll rely on you scrolling on the screen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Similarly, prominent donors such as V.H. Dalmia, the late noted industrialist, along with his brother Sanjay, the successful chairman of the Dalmia Group, contributed prodigiously, as did M.K. Jajodia, Ashok Chaturvedi, R.P. Modi, and others, too numerous to mention. Additionally, political figures and government officials stepped forward to lend their support, reaffirming the importance of this particular project and ISKCON as a whole. Noteworthy and illustrious officials from the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi to the Minister of Education and beyond gave speeches and signed the necessary documents to make the Glory of India dream come true. Many devotees worked hard to make this a reality. Some of the key personalities who had official positions in ISKCON Delhi's administration from before the construction of the main temple to the present should be known. A.G. Tavias Prabhu, His Grace Damodar Pandita Prabhu, Sarvabhavana Prabhu, Kripanidhi Prabhu, Lokanath Maharaj, circa 1983 to 1985. His Grace Radha Raman Prabhu, 1985 to 1987. His Holiness Narmada Maharaj, 1987 to mid-1989. His Grace Srikalagya Prabhu, 1989 to 1998. His Grace Kratu Prabhu, 1998 to 2003. His Grace Mahamantra Prabhu, mid-2003 to 2005. And His Grace Mohana Rupa Prabhu, 2005 to present. There were many others as well, too numerous to mention. They're all no doubt recognized by Guru and Krishna. The project today. In the earliest days of the temple, the deities known as Sri Sri Radha Parthasarthi, the life and soul of ISKCON Delhi, resided in a hut. It was a necessity since the temple was not yet built. After that, as the project began to develop, they were transferred to the area in which the current Govinda's restaurant is now located. Finally, they were placed on their central altar in the main temple. In many ways, one can gauge the development of the project by these various quarters in which Radhakrishna resided during construction. By all estimations, the temple is now a huge success, for they are worshipped in grand style with full regalia. One more, Prabhu, or?
Yeah, that's it, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prema Manjari, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Other deities would soon emerge on the altar, keeping them company, including the greatest of devotees, carved forms of the primary cowherd maidens of Vrindavan, as well as Prabhupada and his guru, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. Additionally, Sri Sri Sitaram with Lakshman and Hanuman and Sri Sri Gauranitai were added to the altar. Too, and the temple is now complete, even if additions and development are always underway. As the sacred compound neared completion, the devotees gave life to the monument of devotion in which they lived by engaging in kirtan and service, a tribute to Srila Prabhupada, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and the deities in their midst. This goes on to the present day. The temple was inaugurated on April 5th, 1998, under the auspices of the then Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, 1924-2018, in the presence of Chief Minister of Delhi, Sahib Singh Verma, 1943-2007, and Sushma Swaraj Sharma, 1952-2019, India's Minister of External Affairs. The festivities of the opening day and the subsequent manifestation of temple activities make manifest Srila Prabhupada's desire for Vaishnava presence in Delhi. More, it represents the culmination of Vaishnavism's age-old presence in this part of India, which now has a worthy home and its own voice among the many spiritual centers of the subcontinent. It boasts one of the largest temple complexes in all of India, with numerous rooms for priests, halls, auditoriums, worship centers, gift shops, museums, a restaurant, a guest house, and so much more. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else who has not read so far and like to read?
So just hold on, just let's make sure it's not just this time, it's last since we started. So I think we started, about a month or so ago. So let's just make sure we haven't read it second time, because we have a long list of people and we want to make sure all devotees get a chance.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can I read, Prabhuji? This is Srinivas.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, Srinivas Prabhu.
All glories to Guru and Gauranga. On page 137, a brief exploration of its premises reveals that the glory of India Vedic Cultural Center is just that, more than a mere complex, it is an elaborate spiritual complex with stunning features that spotlight all of the above. It is almost unthinkable that prior to Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaja's massive efforts, this temple was simply not there. It was waiting to manifest a dream to all the lineage holders and Vaishnava masters of the past. As one enters the temple grounds from the main entrance, one sees a fully developed Govinda's restaurant to the left. with delicious edibles prepared by the gourmet chefs, and just adjacent to it is a bakery sweets shop with traditional delectables for visitors to relish while on premises or to bring home. But forging straight through, one naturally comes to the force, approachable through a winding terrace stairway that is itself a feat of architectural and engineering skill. Surrounding the visitor, one sees the gift shops, museums, auditoriums, and the main temple. The lotus chandelier adorning the temple room is one of the largest and most elegant ever made. And just nearby, too, one sees breathtaking paintings of Krishna and his manifestations enhancing the temple area. Bronze bas reliefs with spiritual themes are found throughout the walk paths, as are landscaped gardens with exotic trees, shrubs, fountains, multicolored lighting, and even a waterfall. Merely stepping foot into this realm of devotion is non-different from ascending to the spiritual world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, anybody else who has not read so far in the last 1 month?
Hare Krishna. This is Adi Gaurangi Devidasi. I have not read yet. If I can read, please, Prabhu.
Absolutely. Sure, Mataji.
Thank you so much. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Particularly fascinating is the Bhagavad Gita animatronics display, a forward-thinking series of models that makes prodigious use of dramatic narration, lasers, and state-of-the-art electronics, including cable-pulled devices with motors that virtually bring the Gita to life. It is primarily accomplished through full movement, lifelike androids of Krishna, Arjun, and Srila Prabhupada speaking the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. The exhibit depicts Prabhupada's early days before coming to the West, his success, and finally the basic story of the Gita as a whole. This was the dawn of such technology in India. Animatronics were first introduced in America by Walt Disney in 1962 for the film Mary Poppins, which featured an animatronic bird, but primitive forms of the technique go back several decades earlier. Prior to animatronic technology, crude archetypes of diorama figurines were used to similar effect by enterprising companies, but the results tended to look stiff and artificial. In fact, in the 1930s, Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, had invested time and money in massive diorama exhibits, focusing on science and Krishna-conscious themes, all to convey the truths of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, using the best technology of the time. Prabhupada followed suit in the 1970s with the Diorama Theater in Los Angeles, Detroit, and soon the Vedic Planetarium in Mayapur, West Bengal. Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else who has not read so far?
Prabhu, my name is Balakrishna Das from Edmonton, ISKCON. May I read?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Okay, so please point to where I should be. I'm looking at a small screen.
Okay, yeah, here. Thus, Gopal Krishna Maharaj.
Thus, Gopal Krishna Maharaja, developing the tradition established by his predecessors, took his Bhagavad Gita exhibit even further than anyone had before, making full use of modernity and its most advanced technologies. The animatronic display is complete with an accompanying theater holding over 150 seats, so viewers can be ushered in and out of the show as it is repeated time and again. But the temple complex has other major auditorium areas as well. Most impressive, perhaps, it boasts a 377-seat theater, which has already hosted numerous theatrical, dance, and musical performances, as well as corporate training sessions. The auditorium building is an elegant structure with aesthetically designed public areas, main hall, green rooms, one of the finest stages in Delhi, and excellent acoustics with a high-quality sound system. Should I continue?
Yes, one more paragraph.
The Mahabharata experience, a closely related presentation located in the same temple complex, is also quickly becoming the talk of Delhi. This is an entertaining and educational light and sound show focusing on the essential Mahabharata narrative. The other famous Indian epic, the Ramayana, is represented as well, this time in the form of an elegant art gallery with a collection of over 30 original oil paintings rendered by ISKCON devotees from America, Russia, India, and the United Kingdom, and of course, the Bhagavata Purana exhibit focusing on an artful presentation of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The ripened fruit of the Vedic tree of knowledge is on daily display as well, making for a complete representation of Vaishnava philosophy and culture. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other devotee would like to go next? Who has not read so far?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Is that Vishnu Vallabh Prabhu?
Yeah, I can go. Thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu. The most recent edition, a monumental outstanding Bhagavad Gita, sits on the display for all to see. It is the largest printed religious book in the world, weighing almost 2,000 pounds and raising up almost 10 feet tall, with 670 pages. It was unveiled by the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, on February 16, 2019, in the presence of Gopal Krishna Goswami and India's Culture Minister, Dr. Mahesh Sharma. This was a landmark event in the history of India and a major step forward for Vaishnava culture in Delhi. With the artistic touch of 18 exquisite paintings and the innovative, elegant layout, the book has been printed in Milan, Italy, on UPO synthetic paper so as to make it untearable and waterproof. Stated syndicated article in India Today, February 25, 2019. The unveiling of the Gita was a major media event covered by many the nation's most important newspapers and magazines. But the temple in Delhi is not merely a visual masterpiece, a sophisticated educational tool, and a home for Vaishnavas. It is engaged in considerable outreach and spiritual welfare work as well. In terms of distributing free food, prasadam, and Prabhupada's books, according to the temple president, Mohana Rupa Dasa, hello? You can go next, right?
Yeah, you can finish this paragraph.
Every day we distribute prasada to more than 7,000 visitors as our temple. During the festivals and Sunday feast programs, we feed around 10,000 people. Apart from this, ISKCON devotees and volunteers go out to old age homes, orphanages to help all the residents by distributing prasada. We have a massive midday meal program other than Food for Life, which feeds hundreds of thousands. Midday meal is a government-aided program, and as of right now, we have 4 kitchens in Delhi NCR, which are constantly active, serving midday meal to almost 200,000 children every day in government schools. A very successful program. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
There was somebody else, some other devotee, Prabhuji.
I can read Prabhuji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mataji.
I will be reading from the phone, so yeah, you can scroll. Hare Krishna, please accept my Dandavat Pranams. This is Premalila Devi Dasi from Boise. So from here, the mastermind.
From here, Mataji, but we have many activities along those lines. Here, this one.
Okay, yeah. We have many activities along those lines. We developed our congregation too. We started our counseling program called Ashraya, which is similar to the Bhakti Vriksha program. Bhakti Vriksha means tree of bhakti, and this refers to that tree's various branches with people engaging according to their various levels of commitment. That's the metaphor of the devotional tree and how we use it. And this tree has also grown quite large. So we have 200 Ashraya groups existing in Delhi NCR area. That's a lot of people. We have about 160 brahmacharis or monks in the temple. And then there are more devotees in the neighboring temples. We all work together for these outreach programs. And full-time and part-time grahastas, married couples also contribute. As far as full-time grahastas are concerned, there are maybe 50 to 100. Many others help too. So it is a large network of dedicated people. Book distribution, I would say, is our primary activity, and it is growing every year with the help of all these devotees. And our whole idea is that the more we engage people in book distribution, the more our numbers grow. So we engage at least 3,000 devotees in book distribution. Recently, Delhi was calculated as number 1 in book sales throughout the ISKCON world.
You can read this also, Mataji.
Okay.
This is the last.
Distributing more than 500,000 books this year alone. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
I think this is the last paragraph. You can
Okay.
read.
Okay. The mastermind of this project, 1 minute. The mastermind of this project again is Gopal Krishna Goswami, and he is thus glorified in the ISKCON world and beyond as a true visionary. Whenever I think of Sri Pada Gopal Krishna Maharaj, says Hari Shauri Prabhu, one of Srila Prabhupada's chief disciples and a one-time personal secretary, I think of determination. To me, after serving with him since 1975, when I was temple commander at Krishna Balaram Mandir in Vrindavana, and he was our new GBC, I have to say he is one of the most determined, resourceful, and dedicated disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada set him almost impossible tasks, dealing with government officials, printers, lawyers, accountants, immigration officials, etc., and pushed him very hard, yet he always came through. Practically no one could take on the huge workload Prabhupada gave him, but he did it, all without complaint and with great humility. Srila Bhagavad Pada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Prabhu, should we, I think we are at 10:30. Do we want to conclude here and start the next chapter from next time? Maybe we can take some reflection.
Yeah, that's fine. Gopal Hari Prabhu joined also. I think Gopal Hari Prabhu is okay, right? We can meet next time. We can just take
Yes.
next.
Yes.
Yep.
I think this is a perfect time this time.
Yep. Okay, very good.
If there's any comments or questions or realizations, please share them. This is the time when we talk about the reading.
I would like to share that we read that when there was inauguration of any new thing, many government officials were invited as chief guests. And one can wonder that why these government officials who do not have the background of ISKCON or like that, why not some saintly people or something? But as the book says that Maharaj is a visionary, and by calling all these, like, more public can be attracted towards the project of ISKCONs. So we can see that how Maharaj's vision is so broad, and he just not work on the sentimental level, but he's very practical also. And in our lives also we see that whenever we have some problem, there is some doubt or confusion, Maharaj, because doing my material duties, my devotional life is affecting, then Maharaj would always give you a best answer that what needs to be done on that particular point. And if the material duties are important, then Maharaj won't hesitate to tell us that please do this first. So that is my experience. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
That's such a nice comment, Mataji. Such a wonderful thing. Like, Maharaj knows what's the best strategy to spread Krishna consciousness, and that's his only meditation, only thing. And at the same time, he's like completely cognizant of the small devotee and also the minister. Like, at the same time, he knows how to balance everything so amazingly, so nicely. I was just hearing a story from someone that Srila Prabhupada was, Guru Maharaj was traveling to Vrindavan from Delhi, and they were just 15 minutes away from the Vrindavan temple. And as they were driving, a crow hit the car, Maharaj's car. You know, as we drive, sometimes the birds will hit. And so the crow hit the car. And at that time, Guru Maharaj was doing his Gayatri. And then once they reached the Vrindavan temple, his Gayatri finished. And Guru Maharaj, he asked the devotees there, what happened to the crow? And the devotee said, the crow, he fell down, he said, what happened to the crow? And no one knows what happened to the crow. So he said, let's go back. And he turns the car around and they go back 10 minutes. They found where the crow is. And then the crow was like half dying there at that time. And Guru Maharaj told the devotees, you chant to it. And they chanted to the crow, and then the crow died. And then he went back to Vrindavan. So it's so amazing about him. Yeah, he has this, amazing ability to take care of the smallest devotee, like you were saying, to the biggest prime minister, and engage all of them, bring them to Krishna's lotus feet. He doesn't forget anyone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Ranchor Prabhu. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, please have my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Ranchor Das from Columbus. One point that I wanted to take away was we just celebrated Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day yesterday. And Guru Maharaj's lectures frequently quotes, like one of the quotes from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that the materialists invent stuff and the devotees use it in the service of Lord Krishna. So in the discussion about the animatronics exhibits in Delhi and other new technologies that are not really used elsewhere outside of like more materialistic applications, so Guru Maharaj is bringing those to be used for the service of Krishna. So he has that intelligence to figure out how to use everything, even if it's apparently difficult to be used in the service of Krishna, he can figure out how to use it. So that's a lesson for us all, so we can try to develop that intelligence. Hare Krishna.
That's such a nice point, Prabhu. Amazing. And such a nice connection that you made with his class just yesterday. And I should just mention that class, Maharaj is looking so radiant. And he's speaking more strongly than even before. Like his voice was so clear, you could understand every word. He is actually looking like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, so lean and so powerful. Actually, yeah. Sorry, Balakrishna.
Balakrishna.
Hare Krishna. Today's reading emphasizes how determined our Guru Maharaj is. He's like steel, his determination is like that. He was given almost impossible tasks to accomplish, and he always came through that very successfully. So, he seems to be having lots of energy he gets when he is doing things, and he inspires all of us to do it. So I think that is his special trait, the being so determined in carrying out what his guru has ordered him to do. I think we all should behave like that. So I think this is a very, a wonderful feeling of what Guru Maharaj displays always. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, it's so true. I think his determination is unlimited. Like whenever we think, like this is a limit, he goes beyond it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Subha Saka Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for giving this opportunity to me to express my views or my takeaways. As the other Prabhu was mentioning about the determination and the dedication, that is one thing I want to echo. And the other aspect which drew my attention was in the beginning, they have highlighted about his patience, right? In the page 138 or something like that. There is, when he was dealing with Hindujas, his patience has paid really. So my takeaways, patience is a big thing. It's important. You can, especially in spirituality or anything, for the matter, Maharaj's patience is also like unlimited, which you were mentioning about the determination. Now I feel his patience is also unlimited. That is my takeaway point, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. No, he's so patient. And like Prabhupada, he never gives up on someone. Like you never feel that now because I displeased him, he loves me less. That's like one quality about him. Like you're saying, his patience is like that also with his disciples. Like they'll keep making the same mistakes. Every time they'll still do the same thing that he tells them not to do, but his love never ends. And the more, you know, the only reward that he gives us is he gives us more service. The only punishment is that he'll engage us more. Like, you know, some devotees is not doing things properly and they are not capable, or they act irresponsibly, then he'll give them more service. Or they're complaining or they're criticizing, he'll give them more service, do more service.
He has the patience and the determination to make sure that every disciple of his is successful. That is what his goal seems like, right?
Yes, true. Father Advait Prabhu here.
Yeah, I just want to share a couple of things, Prabhu. So as we were reading, like obviously, I think Prabhuji Balkrishna Prabhu talked about determination and book distribution. So I'm reflecting through this. I'm basically trying to see, you know, what can I do? You know, just maybe one thing that we are reading from Maharaj's books readings. So like the question that I had in the quiz this morning, the trivia about Maharaj distributing books after work, you know, like many of us, I'm sure, and many devotees have done this book distribution, like at least from personally, I have distributed books maybe with other devotees, maybe we've set up stalls and we've distributed, but this thing really inspired me. So last weekend, or just earlier this week, I was in downtown for my work. And I just wanted to, you know, follow in the footsteps of Maharaj. So I said, okay, I took some Bhagavad Gitas with me. And I said, there's a park right across from there. I said, you know, I want to go after my work, just experience, because I've never done after work. I've always done like on weekends. But so this time, you know, so before I went, I prayed to Maharaj, but, you know, I felt like it was a different kind of energy that I had, you know. I just did for 50 minutes, but I distributed 2 books, spoke to about 8 people. But I felt like it was a different kind of an energy that I had. It was just, you know, Maharaj's mercy coming through, you know. So I just wanted to kind of, you know, whatever we are learning, I just wanted to implement at least one thing. And I really felt so blissful that day. I mean, I had so much energy, even after 9-10 hours of work. I went and I did, and when I came back home, I was actually feeling more energized that day. It was a Wednesday. I felt more energized that day than any day in my life. And the other example that you're talking about, the bird. So this was the previous chapter, and Maharaj's personal service to Prabhupada was cleaning his room. And I think when I was in Chicago earlier, I think you were talking about your own example, how you never wanted to do cleaning, but, you know, that is the service that came to you. We have in Cincinnati, we have a small center. And I actually did cleaning of the center that day. And coincidentally, when we came outside to put the trash out, we actually saw a small bird. It was almost in its final stage. So I don't know from where it came. Maybe it hit something and then it fell down right outside the door of our ISKCON Cincinnati Center. And as you were speaking about that incident, it really, you know, it kind of made me remember, you know, that day. But yeah, we were able to sing the Hare Krishna mantra to the bird finally, and then the bird left the body. So that was just something that I wanted to share.
Wow, thank you, Prabhu, for those realizations. And it's amazing that you went out yesterday with Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's disappearance day, and Guru Maharaj was talking about book distribution particularly. He was again encouraging that let's do book distribution. And here we also went out book distribution yesterday, and we had the same experience. Somehow, special reciprocation yesterday. Like 2 people came and they said, you know, just yesterday I was searching the internet for Bhagavad Gita, and I found you here. Like, you know, it's really Maharaj is. It doesn't matter who we are. He wants us to distribute books. And so thank you, Prabhuji. Bhakti Yoga Prabhu.
Yes, Guru Maharaj is inspiring from afar. But yeah, regarding Crow Prabhu, you forgot to mention that how merciful Guru Maharaj is, that he sent him back home, back to Godhead with the holy name. But
Yeah.
while we were devotees were reading and talking about the animatronics in the Delhi temple, I remember in, I think it was 94, Guru Maharaj had his first angioplasty or whatever that was in DC, and I drove down to visit with him. And then Mahamantra Prabhu was there with a couple other devotees from Delhi. And Guru Maharaj asked me, take them to New Vrindavan. I want them to see the palace, because they can get ideas for the Delhi temple. And so instead of being with Guru Maharaj and spending my time there with him, he had me doing some service for ISKCON Delhi by driving these devotees to New Vrindavan. We spent about 3 or 4 days there and drove them back to DC. So I remember that when we were reading.
That's amazing that you mentioned that, because Guru Maharaj actually engaged talent from all around the world, isn't it? For that temple. He sent some devotees to, I think, Los Angeles or a few places in California to check out the museums there at like Disney World, Universal Studios, things like that, to see their animatronics. I also distinctly remember that devotees went there, and we would send like lamps from here for the museum, because you only got those things in America. And then he also had a few disciples from Italy do some of the ceiling painting work. So he brought so many things from all around the world.
Yeah. Before we left, he was instructing Mahamantra Prabhu, just make sure that you look at every detail, he said.
Wow.
So they went around with cameras and we spent maybe almost an entire day at the palace itself, just going to every little nook and cranny and looking at everything, taking pictures, etc. It was amazing.
Amazing, yes. Amazing, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mahasundari Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for the opportunity to participate in this. Just two realizations or understandings from Guru Maharaj's dealing with Hinduja brothers. One, we always see Guru Maharaj actually engaging everybody in the service of Krishna, no matter who it is. We get to hear that Uttama Adhikari, that is the difference. So many times, even, speaking about myself, even in the very neophyte stage, when we are in the karmic world, we struggle actually to fit in there, and we struggle to, we find out of place from ISKCON, but we still have to deal with that. But, looking at how Guru Maharaj does it, whether it's with Hinduja brothers or whether it's with Hema Malini, Yogi, all these celebrities, engaging them in the service of Krishna without their awareness and giving them that Ajnata Sukriti, that was one of the understandings I had. The second thing, so no matter what we have had as in a karmic journey, we always have a position to serve Krishna. And, Guru Maharaj always gives that service to people, and even for disciples too, depending on what fits us. Actually, it's not one, cookie cutter service for everybody. Somebody may be good at book distribution, somebody may be good at kirtan, somebody may be good at something else. And even these karmis who haven't had any relationship with Krishna, even those people can be connected. So similarly, in our own lives, actually, no matter what we are in, actually, we still can be connected with devotees and Krishna, and utilize whatever little skills we have to serve. That purpose is the realization I had. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
That's so nice, Mataji, what you said. Like, it's so true about him. And it reminded me of an incident with the Hindujas. One time Guru Maharaj went to the Hindujas in Bombay, and just like, it's a perfect example of what you're saying. And he took me along, so I went with Guru Maharaj, and they have this nice bungalow right by the ocean, so it's like beautiful. And so we get there, and we're sitting down, and the Hinduja comes out. I don't know which Hinduja it was, but one of the Hindujas. And this is like long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And so he comes out, and then his Maharaj has a conversation with him. And then his caretaker comes out and gives a glass of water to Guru Maharaj and a glass of water to me. Like, when a guest comes, they come. So then for a moment, Mr. Hinduja goes back inside. And while he's inside, Guru Maharaj tells me, says, drink both of these glasses of water. Thinking, drink these glasses of water. I drank my glass of water, and then I realized it's coconut water. So, okay, it's a Hinduja's house, so the water they're going to give is coconut water. So it's really nice coconut water. So I drank mine, and Guru Maharaj, I think he wasn't drinking coconut water that time, probably for his heart, it's fatty, and he wasn't taking it. So he's like, no, drink this glass also. And so then he has like 30 seconds before he comes back and drink that down and put it there. And then Mr. Hinduja comes back. And my feeling is that he wanted Mr. Hinduja to feel that we accepted it, or like Guru Maharaj accepted it. So he wanted me to finish it and put it back there so that when he comes back, but he can't drink it. And, or maybe it was just Guru Maharaj has this way, like he doesn't waste a moment to show his charmingness. Like, he's the greatest personality, yet he's like Prabhupada described, he also has the sweetness of a mother or a child. So he takes every opportunity to do that. And then Mr. Hinduja comes, and then he speaks with him more. So he comes back and they talk. And then after that, I distinctly remember that the last thing Maharaj does, he says, so the whole time it's just a conversation, like, how are you? How's your family? Just sweet conversation. Then the last sentence he says, so now we're trying to do the second floor of the museum, and we need your help. So he never talks about what he needs or the money or the fundraising the whole time. He just Hinduja, and then the last sentence is Hinduja knows obviously he's there for some reason. So he says, we're working on the second level, and we if you can make that happen, And then Maharaj folds his hands and he does this to Mr. Hinduja. And I remember, because he's such a great soul, and for him to fold his hands to someone is like not an ordinary thing. Like when he does this, when Maharaj folds his hands, then Hinduja was just like he couldn't, he was just taken aback. And that's, his quality, to get Krishna's work done. He was folding his hands in front of a materialist. I mean, what's the comparison between a pure devotee and a rich man? A rich man is just a rich man. So then he does that, and then Hinduja says, "No problem, it will be done. No problem. We'll take care of it." So yeah.
So on that part, Maharaj is also Hinduja is very favorable, and I don't know how many devotees been to ISKCON Kharghar, Navi Mumbai. Hinduja is helping Guru Maharaj quite a bit with that project. Sorry, I jumped in, but just wanted to close the chapter on Hinduja.
Yeah, in about, I think it was 2004 or 2005, Guru Maharaj was in Toronto, and he was staying in the room upstairs where he always stayed before this year or last year. And it was about 2:00 in the afternoon, and he said to me, and he was going to go to a home program later. So he said to me, Bhakti Yoga, I want to rest a little bit. So because I was up there, and I said, don't let anyone come inside. So he went and he lied down. And then as soon as he lay down, I went downstairs, and I met this family came in, And the man said, my name is something Hinduja. I forget what his name was. So he said, I heard Gopal Krishna Maharaj was here. And I said, yeah, he's upstairs. He said, can I meet with him? So I didn't know what to do. I felt like Lord Ganesh, you know. Lord Shiva came for a visit. So I didn't. So anyway, I went upstairs and I went in the room, and Guru Maharaj was lying on his bed. His glasses were off, and he had his, you know, he had his hand like this on his forehead, and his eyes were closed. And as soon as I walked in, you know, that floor creaks like crazy. So as soon as I walked in, he heard the creak. He said, Bhakti Yoga, is that you? I said, yes, Guru Maharaj. He said, I told you I wanted to take some rest. I said, Guru Maharaj, one of the Hinduja brothers is downstairs. Guru Maharaj like flew out of the bed. He was very tired before. You could see from his body language. He like, you know, he like flew out of the bed, and he grabbed his glasses and he run downstairs. And he met with the family, and he asked for us to get prasadam for them. And he ended up spending about 2 hours sitting there talking with them. And then they left, and he just had enough time to go up to take a shower to get ready for his program. And he said to me, he says, that's not the one that gives all the money. But yet, in spite of that, in spite, I think he was the youngest one or something. I forget. But Guru Maharaj said, yeah, he's not the one that gives the money. But in spite of that, Guru Maharaj showed him every courtesy. He sat with him. He stayed with him as long as he was in the temple. And, you know, showing us how to be a good host. Because sometimes, you know, some devotee might come and ask, would you like to do this, or, you know, wash the pots, or clean? Oh, Prabhu, I'm tired. I still have my rounds to chant. You know, I'm, you know, we always come up with excuses. And so here's Guru Maharaj who, you know, doing so much and needing just a little bit of rest before he does his next program. And just for the sake of preaching. Okay, maybe this one doesn't give the money, but he will pass the message along to the others who are giving the money, so that Guru Maharaj can get. I guess it was around that time he was doing the second floor of the. It was around 2004, 2005. So around then, yeah.
Yes.
So he wanted to make sure that Lakshmi comes in, liberated from the hands of the materialists.
Wow.
Yeah, for Krishna Seva.
That's amazing, Prabhu. Amazing story. That's so nice. Yes, I mean his sacrifice is unlimited. Like all these rituals, finding them, cultivating them, it's so you know, amazing. And then spending, you know, Jagannath Priya Prabhu knows, like he'll visit a few people every single year. Though they never get money, but they're just a contact that he's developing, or they make very little progress in DC. Like every year he'll go and visit this one family, and just because at one point they had helped or they hadn't helped, right, Prabhu?
Dr.
Yes.
Yep, Dr. Santani. I think we have few minutes left, so Garuda Hari Prabhu, and then I think Advaita Acharya Prabhu will provide a health status update. So let's keep moving. I think Garuda Hari Prabhu is next, right?
Yes, and then Srinivas Pundarik Prabhu. So both maybe one. Yes,
okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gopal Hari Prabhu and Advaita Prabhu, Jagannath Priya Prabhu sharing about Guru Maharaj, you know, up to date. Gopal Hari Prabhu, thank you for sharing the board, the Vrindavan story. This is inspired for everybody how Guru Maharaj take care. 2008 also one have a story when a Guru Maharaj Potomac River go to walk. I think we are everybody. There have an end in the line, and Guru Maharaj walking and see this one, then stop everybody. So be careful. And he decide to somebody stand there to take care, you know, nobody to putting feet in the boats, ends there. You then say you stand there, need to nobody to disturbing there, and he need to tell every day when we are go there, bring some prasadam to feeding their birds, right? So he's only thinking. He thinking for everybody have a life, every have a no need to disturbing everything. So Hinduja story coming 2008 when Jayapataka Maharaj, this is Brajari Prabhu telling the story actually. 2008 when Jayapataka Maharaj is heart attack come, he's the Hinduja hospital. Then after couple day hospital is everybody, all the doctors say no Maharaj no more, So all the GBC and Maharaj disciple, in say Purushottam Maharaj, in Radhanath Maharaj, everybody decide to bring to Jayapataka Maharaj in the temple, and there everybody chanting, and on the devotee, middle of the devotee, Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj should be left his body, no need to hospital. Then Brajari Prabhu come to talk to Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj said, I know Jayapataka Maharaj, nothing happened. Don't worry, Maharaj, no need to bring to temple. Next day, Guru Maharaj take to Jayapataka, Brajari Prabhu to Hinduja, and to spoke there to, how Jayapataka Maharaj is service for Prabhupada, everything. And same thing is putting hand like this, please, how much best to help to Maharaj to please help him. Then after that, what happened, hospital, how Hinduja take care, and today Jayapataka Maharaj with us. Now there, everybody decide to Jayapataka Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj bring to Juhu temple, and they are chanting. After all the middle of the devotee, he need to left his body. Only Gopal Krishna Maharaj against, no. I know Jayapataka Maharaj. Jayapataka Maharaj not easy to left here.
Wow.
Next day he's gone. This is Brajari Prabhu tell the story. I think one Vyas Puja offering.
Wow, thank you, Prabhu. Yes, so amazing. Like, he knew exactly
He
when.
know past, present, everything. He saw somebody, he tell you what happened future and present, what is going on in your life. This thing personally, we are traveling, we know this thing.
Yes. I have few stories we can share later. Srinivas Prabhu is waiting.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. This is Srinivas Punarikas from Pittsburgh. I just want to draw a comparison from Prabhupada's Leelamrita, where Prabhupada used to send a lot of letters to the politicians and industrialists and try to get support on stressing the importance of spreading the Krishna consciousness and creating congregation. He hardly got any response. But now here I see and try to compare how Guru Maharaj has transformed the vision of Prabhupada into life by engaging the industrialists and politicians, in spreading the Krishna consciousness and getting the support in building temples as well as. This is just a quick comparison and just recollecting it when I read this. Hare Krishna.
Such a nice point. Thank you, Prabhu. And, thank you very much, everyone, for your wonderful comments. Advaita Acharya Prabhu, I think. Yes, Prabhu. Please give us your wisdom.
My throat is not clear. Anyway, I think not prompt everybody. Guru Maharaj is doing very good now. We all know how he's doing, right? And you can see every minute now is some activities on the website, on the medias. He looks like back to his business, even though he's supposed to take rest. But that's our Guru Maharaj. What can you say about him? He's not going to listen to anybody. He's going to listen to himself. And at the same time, yes, he needs to be more taking rest, but I think he's still back to the business now. He wants to do everything possible things. It's very difficult to, restrict him. It's very difficult. We know all this is life, the last 50 years. I mean, that's the way he is. For him, devotional service is so much important. Even he has one hand, he's still doing his sadhana. I mean, it's amazing, you know, we can see that. And now he's back to the classes, and who knows, maybe he's traveling soon, looks like to me. I hope he does not, but it's very difficult to say. So anyway, I think we should continue to pray so he can get better and better and better. He's not going to listen to doctors, he's not going to listen to anybody. He's going to do what he wants to do. I think because my understanding is that you cannot take away anything from him, you know. For him, this is his life and soul. He cannot stop it. So, but hopefully, I think he can. I mean, of course, he's very smart. He knows his health. He knows his body. So I think he's going to go better and better, but I think we should continue to pray.
I'm one thing sharing, Prabhu. You know, Guru Maharaj, like Antarjami, last week we are decide to maybe Guru Maharaj give some word, voice for everybody we need to hear. After when he's hospital, we know, hear any his live voice, anything. And Guru Maharaj hear this one, and yesterday he giving class. We're so happy at least hearing something his own things. So he's Antarjami. He understood everybody heart what is going on with. You know, he's not ordinary person. He's different, totally different than other people.
His voice is now getting clear, I think, because taking more
He's
rest.
Guru Maharaj, good, clear, and look more young than before.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
Why
We
were
are
you
all,
saying
we
his
are all
voice got more
fortunate.
clear? Prabhu, why were you saying his voice got more clear? What was the kind of?
I think he's taking it full rest now, you know. I think that makes the difference.
Yes.
I talked to him 2 days ago, I think, and his voice was very clear. Compared to 2 weeks ago, he could not hardly whispering, you know. So now he's more and more clear.
Okay, Prabhu, when you talk, please give everybody a love for him, Guru Maharaj. No, everybody can talk to him. Only you talk. Please give our everybody love, and we are a prayer for his health.
Guru Maharaj knows very well.
No,
Guru Maharaj knows very well
it's
how
true.
much devotees care about him. We are all fortunate souls, that's all.
So I think next week is Janardhan Maharaj's class. So I humbly request, we have good turnout, but requesting everyone to join and let, you know, other devotees in your area, let them know. Janardhan Maharaj always tells me that there is quite a few, over 300 families maybe initiated in North America, and usually we get maybe 30% participation. So like to see everyone take an opportunity to hear from Janardhan Maharaj. So I think we'll end here. Gopal Hari Prabhu, is that
Yes,
okay?
Prabhu. Yes, please. Yes.
Vanchakalpa Tarubhasya Vaishnava Namo Namah. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.